Okay, for this example, it says Peter is trying to work out by completing sit-ups and push-ups in order to gain muscle mass. Originally, Peter was completing 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups, but then he injured his shoulder. After the injury, Peter completed the same amount of exercises as he did before his injury, but completed 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. During a training session after his injury, Peter completed 8 push-ups. How many push-ups was Peter completing before his injury? So there's a lot of information in this problem, so we have to kind of go through it piece by piece. So the first thing is we have to figure out what are the 2 different scenarios. The 2 things that we are comparing is the push-ups and sit-ups before his injury and then after his injury. So we're comparing how much push-ups and how many sit-ups he did before he got hurt and then after he got hurt. So now we have to draw 2 different tape diagrams to help us represent this situation. So if we start with the before, so if we go back to the problem, it said originally Peter was completing 5 sit-ups for every 3 push-ups. So if we label our tape diagram with sit-ups and then push-ups, our ratio, because we're looking for that for every, it says that he was completing 5 sit-ups for 3 push-ups. So we're going to draw a tape diagram of 5 for the sit-ups. And then we're going to draw 3. We're making sure it lines up with the other one so we can see the relationship. You can clearly see there are 5 boxes for the sit-ups and 3 for the push-ups. All right, let's now go to after his injury. So if we look in the problem, it says after his injury, Peter completed the same amount of exercises as he did before, but now he completed 7 sit-ups for every 1 push-up. So we're going to draw our tape diagram again. So we're going to label sit-ups and then push-ups. And this time our ratio, we're looking for that for every again, was 7 sit-ups One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for every 1 push-up. And you can see in both pictures I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes. I have 8 total boxes before his injury. And I also have 8 total boxes after his injury, which is going to be really important because that means that every box is going to represent the same value. So now we have to look at our last piece of information that we have for this problem. So if we look at the last sentence here, it said, during a training session after his injury, Peter completed 8 push-ups. So the key here is we're looking at the information after his injury, and he completed 8 push-ups. So we want to look at the push-ups, so we're going to go to our after tape diagram, and we're going to look at our push-ups, and since it's only 1 box, I don't have to split that 8 up at all. I'm just going to put 8 inside that box. Now because of what we just went over, we know all the boxes are equal. So that means I can put 8 into every single box, not just for the after tape diagram, but also up here in the before, because each tape diagram for the before and after his injury both had 8 total boxes. So now I simply have to look at my question. So the question says, how many push-ups was Peter completing before his injury? So now I'm looking at the before tape diagram, and now I only want to know how many push-ups he was completing before. So now we're going to go to the before tape diagram, and again we want to look at the push-ups category. So if I look here, I can clearly see that there were 3 boxes. Inside each of those boxes now is 8. So that will tell me that I have to do 3 times 8 to equal 24. So our answer to our question here is that Peter was completing 24 push-ups before his injury. And the question wasn't asking how many sit-ups he was completing, so I don't need to answer that question, but with the problems you have to complete, pay attention to what the question is, because it might ask you to answer more than just one piece of the tape diagram.